sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Oh, apparently now we're live.
We're going?
We're doing it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I see the little lines moving.
Hello.
And hello.
Hi.
Welcome to a couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm a rock star. My name's Brooklyn Maple.
And I am Heather Terry.
And this is our true crime / comedy podcast where we tell you fucked up shit going on with fucked up people in fucked up ways. And we make some jokes about it along the way. Hopefully we make you laugh.
Sprinkle that in.
Sprinkle in the joy.
Sprinkle it in.
Yes. Speaking of sprinkles, our fans are the sprinkles of our life. How's that?
Listen, we love the feedback. We love that you guys actually pay attention to us and that you actually kind of give a shit.
Yeah, we're thankful to all of you out there who are listening to this podcast within the first 15 minutes that we put it out into the waves of the internets.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The technical term.
I crushed it.
But we appreciate it. It makes it worth getting up at 8:30 on a Saturday.
Getting up at 8:30? Dude, we've been here since 8.
I know. Well, see, I'm so tired that I'm thinking about that. You know, oh, poor me. My life's so hard. We had so much fun and I had 3 bottles of champagne last night. Oh, my God. Awful.
I know. Everything's
Awful.
No, it really makes it worth it to do all the research and to just fucking do a podcast. Because as everyone says that they can do a podcast, and you ain't lying. You can do it too.
You too
It
can,
just
but
takes a
don't
lot
just
of work.
listen to ours.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, don't start your own. We don't need any more competition.
Yeah, there's already enough out there.
There is enough.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, we just want to take a moment and say, thank you.
And then go ahead and subscribe
And that we love you.
and review us.
Thank you and we love you.
And we love you.
And you had, what was your question?
Okay, so I find myself doing things as an adult that I probably should not still be doing.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear what you think.
Because whenever I go to open stuff in my head, every time I say righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, every time. I still sleep with the TV on because I'm scared of the dark.
That one is a little weird.
What?
The righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, everyone in the whole world
That's
does.
what I mean. What else do you do that like that?
But leaving the TV on, like being afraid of the dark.
I'll own it. I'll own it.
I don't know. Maybe that's one.
No.
I don't think there's anything.
There's nothing you do childlike. There's no whimsy. No more. Like spell the word trouble, that country song, I smell TROUBLE. That's how I spell trouble in my head.
Yep, I don't do any of that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to think here, and I'm like, I've got nothing
none?
for you.
You can't, I'm on this journey alone. Okay.
I don't, even as a kid, I feel like I was still kind of annoyingly adult-like. I've always been type A. So
yeah, I get that. Me,
Yeah.
on the other hand.
As a child, I still made sure all the doors were locked.
Yeah. And then I'm like, do you know if
The
I lock
Muffin
my
Man.
car? The Muffin Man. Who? The Muffin Man?
Yes.
You were
What
supposed
were
to sing it
saying
with
about
me.
your car?
I said, then I always forget if my car's locked or not. Every time I walk away from it.
Yeah. Well, that's a natural thing.
Yeah, I know.
My keys are always like in the bottom of my bag in life. That's always the thing. So it's like, well. The only thing that I feel like I'm way more intensive. Well, number one, when I lived in Miami, you had to lock your fucking car 24/7. It's going to get broken into. If you don't lock your door, it's going to get broken into.
Oh, wow.
You like literally on Thanksgiving, I was robbed because I left my back glass door.
How
unlocked,
depressing.
and someone just walked in, took my laptop from my kitchen table and went through my wallet.
That makes me sad.
On Thanksgiving.
Who did it?
We just went to play tennis. Like literally we were gone for 2 hours on Thanksgiving and someone came and fucking stole our shit. So if I was like getting groceries out of my car, I'd lock my door. Like I'd lock my car to walk in and unlock it every fucking time. That's how fucking hood rat it was. And that was a nice place. I lived in a nice place, Aventura at the time. But anyway.
That's like the people that live in an apartment complex, an apartment complex, and they go down the stairs to do their laundry and leave their place open. They come back and somebody's in their apartment. I've seen a lot of stories like that. Like,
people are fucking apes. You know what else they did in Miami that they don't?
What?
Like, just random. They steal your fucking grocery cart. That happened to me so many fucking times. No bullshit. No bullshit. Are you ready?
Okay.
You're at the grocery store.
Yeah.
You have your shit in your cart. You have been shopping all day.
As you will. Yes.
I had my cart stolen 4 or 5 times.
What do you mean?
Like
How?
if I was in my aisle and walk like over to grab something, they would steal your cart. And without my purse wasn't in it.
Just take your shit.
Just take your fucking shit. It happened to me one time. And I was almost done grocery shopping, and I just fucking left.
I think I would too, because
I would have gone up to people and been like, "That's my cart."
How? Okay,
isn't that insane?
It is, because my thought is I'm a picky eater, and I would get.
Why would you do that?
If you're too lazy, because my thought when you laziness. said stole your cart, I thought you meant like you turned to put the potatoes in your trunk and you turned back around, someone had ran off with your cart outside.
No,
so I didn't know you
grocery
meant,
shopping.
Yeah, I'm too picky for that. I would have to follow around the lady that gets Doritos and Ding Dongs or something.
I just can't imagine. I remember that shit would blow me the fuck away. It happened like 4 or 5 times.
That's insane.
Insane.
I kind of want to try to do it.
I can't even lie. Like, fuck Miami.
Could you imagine if somebody did that here, though? I don't know why I turned around and looked at Kroger, like in the direction of Kroger.
I don't know why she
really
did. It was kind of weird. I mean, I'm sure there's fuckwads that would do it here too. Because people fucking suck everywhere.
We're like in the South. I don't feel like people would say anything. We're way nicer here. I don't know if people would say anything.
I love it here.
Do you want to try to do it, like a field study?
No, because I hated it. It's a fucked up thing to do. So I don't want to fuck up someone else's day.
I just picture them in their head, because you would be so confused.
And you were just like, what the absolute fuck? Like,
I thought maybe your purse was in it. That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
I have a lot of questions.
Suck. I do too. Fuck them. Fuckers. Anyway, now that I relived rage,
we're a good Christian podcast.
Yeah. Yes, we are. No, we are absolutely not. Talk to me. What are you going to do this weekend?
What am I going to do this weekend? Yeah. I'm going to go down to the International Barbecue Festival here in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Which is now called Bourbon and Barrels, or Barbecue and Barrels, or Barbecue and Barrels?
Barrels of Fun. Barbecue and Barrels.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. Big fan.
Well, they just changed everything. They rebranded everything.
It's the inaugural year. No, I'm going to go down there, I think, for a little bit. If it's not raining, grab a sandwich or 10 and then go back. I don't really I'm keeping this weekend pretty low key, so nothing fun to report back.
Good for you. So we are recording 2 episodes in case this comes out and it's 3 weeks after Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
But Mother's Day is tomorrow. So for us, we are going to go to the barbecue festival as well, grab a little food, do a little nom-noms, and then go to a place where you buy flowers, because we're not doing Lowe's anymore. We now believe in
a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Isn't
it called something else? I don't fucking know. We're going to a place where you buy flowers that is not a Lowe's or a Walmart, and we're going to prepare for the very big and exciting planting of flowers at Maple Manor, which will happen also in 3 weeks because I'm going out of town. I'm going to go to Kentucky Lake with Travis's fam bam, his mom and dad, Mary and Jamie, and then also his sister Casey and her husband Brian and their 4 children. And then our little JD Bear, which I'm sure he hates it when I call him that because he's a 19-year-old man. He's like, I'm like, yep, going to keep calling you JD Bear. And we're going to go glamping, and we're staying in a tiny house, which is very exciting. And then we're going to leave that on Sunday, and we're going to drive to Panama City Beach.
Yeah. I love that you get to do all that. I love that you get to go, and then you're going. And I was just in Panama City at that same place like 2 weeks ago. So I'm glad that you get to see it, because I just saw it and it's pretty, and I know you'll like it. So.
Yeah, I was super happy that you sent me so many screenshots. No, so much. What is it? Snaps. Snippy
letters.
snaps.
I handwrote her letters last time.
That would be cute. She sent me snaps, so I know that there's a big fridge, which that really does change the game.
Well, let's set the scene, though. Every time we go somewhere else and it's not with each other, we always do a walkthrough of where we're staying, no matter the good or the bad.
Yes.
Wherever we do a Snapchat, we send a snap to each other, and it's always us walking, and then you see Will walk through and do something stupid, and then
and Travis is just standing in the background like, this is dumb. It's because Heather stays at actual cool places. Like when she goes places, she's at like a fucking banging ass resort, and she has to, and it's like a 25-minute like video of her showing me it, and then it's always me in a fucking Hilton hotel going, this is our room, dun. Okay, love you, bye. And that's why Travis is always like, why do you do this as a hotel room?
Because Heather's like,
and so here's the upstairs bathroom. Oh my God. It makes me think of that Mexico trip you and Will took for your anniversary. My God, that was a 45-minute, like legit, that was the longest video. I was like, Travis, come see, pop some popcorn.
It was forever. That was our anniversary trip, and it was a 2-story room. That was a we're going to treat yourself trip.
Oh, when she told me she was going, I never thought to ask anything about how much money she spent until I saw that. And I was like, how much money did you spend?
We got
and
a
where
good
did you
deal.
stay?
It was a good value.
Good. It was fucking awesome. Anywho.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go see my mom tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
That was about the weekend excitement. Heather got my mom a really cute Mother's Day gift, which I just thought was so cute because that's how sweet Heather is. Heather's a sweet baby angel. And then I was like, well, I suck that I didn't think to get your mom a Mother's Day gift. So there's that. Heather always has to over deliver, and I just slide right under the radar.
No, she doesn't.
So sweet and wonderful. Should we talk about our stories today? Because this is kind of I don't want to say a fun topic, but we have to find joy in this or we wouldn't be fucking recording a podcast.
It's interesting to dive into. It's not same old, because a lot of the true crime stories, since the market is so saturated, it gets to be
It's like we were doing movie reviews. We're like, hey, it's always the same storyline.
That's right.
Just in a different way with different actors.
True. Very
Crime.
true.
True crime. Couldn't help it. Sorry.
I headbutted the mic again.
And I ran my cheek into it in the last episode. So we're doing what we do. So today we're actually talking about female stalkers.
Yes, we are. I say you go first
I'll do it.
because I don't want to.
Heard that.
I mean, I'm just like, you go.
I know. And I literally just did one. So I'm like, I'm real ready.
Oh.
I'm real ready. Yeah. What was that weird?
For real?
That was weird. What?
For real?
What do you mean for real?
But you're ready for real?
Oh. I was like, for real, I just recorded one.
No, I know you said
I don't understand. Jason Derulo. Okay. So I used my bitch wiki, medium.com, the documentary Dear Zachary, which we're going to talk about, and then also Ranka or Ranker.
Did you say the title yet? Or are we just doing?
Oh, I didn't even do a title on this one. Sometimes I do them and sometimes I don't.
You were like, here are my sources. I'm like, what are we talking about?
What do you mean? What are we talking about?
Who? Let's go.
You'll find out.
Okay.
Ding-a-ling. That's how this works. Born on September 25th, 1973 to parents Kathleen and David Bagby, sweet baby angel Andrew Bagby was a medical student undertaking his third-year residency at Memorial Hospital. So this guy was super amazing. I'm going to jump in and already kind of tell you a little bit about the documentary film Dear Zachary.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of it? I hadn't before this.
No.
Okay, well, it was made by his best friend, Kurt. I'm sorry, Kurt. I don't know how to say your last name. It's spelled Kuennne. Quinn? I kind of want to say Quinn, but I don't know. Quinn?
Kaka. I don't know.
Yeah. Kaka. So Kurt. Kaka. At a young age, he loved creating films. So there's an endless number of movies that have him and Andrew, and even Andrew's parents acting in them in the 90s. And they're so great. Like, literally, it was in the 90s. So cute. Aww. And they're like, he's really acting. Like, they're legit acting. Like, I think in one of them, like, Andrew's mom, like, slaps. It's amazing.
Oh.
Anyway, so I definitely suggest watching the documentary.
Okay.
If you can. And throughout the documentary, his closest friends talk about how he didn't have a ton of confidence. Aww. And he was really good looking. I really think he was a little bit stockier. Like, if he played a sport, he's definitely playing football.
Okay, I'm going to Google.
Oh, yeah, please. He has the sweetest face, and he was super smart and funny, and he definitely came off to me like he was the guy who ended up, like, being the life of the party. So,
he looks fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good way to explain it. He looks like a fun guy.
He looks like everyone would love to be around him, and if I got a flat tire, he'd come pick me up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Agreed. At this time, he's so excited about starting his career, and he's studying like a wild man. It's early 1999, and he begins dating this chick named Shirley Turner, who's also a medical student and quite a few years older than him. I love how they say quite a few years older than him. She was 12 years older than him.
I was going to ask, 12? Mm-hmm. Whoa.
And I'm going to say age ain't nothing but a number, because it really isn't. It really fucking isn't.
Yeah, I mean...
But real talk, I would agree with that if maybe she was cute. But this bitch is ugly as fuck.
So she's older and ugly.
She's old and ugly. How's them? How's them apples?
You're like, well, if she was hot, I would allow it, but...
Yeah, I would. But she was a mismatch. And so it made no fucking sense to me. So there, I'm going to fucking say it. Also,
okay,
this bitch has multiple kids from multiple different men. In 93, she's investigated for abusing 2 of her 3 kids at the time.
God.
One of her roommates was getting worried because she would just like leave the kids for days on end.
No.
And then when she was home, she would hit them with like belts, her hands, whatever.
What the fuck?
Yeah, legit. So the roommate ends up telling a psychiatrist. I'm not really sure about like the who, the why, the what, and the where. But the psychiatrist then calls social services, but they never follow up.
Why? Oh no! I hate when we hear that.
Always. And the claims were dropped on January 11th of 94. So, of course, in 94, she drops all the kids off at their respective fathers' houses and decides to go to med school, as one does.
What? Oh, she's like, here, I don't want them anymore.
She tried to pawn them off on other family members, and the family members were like, no. And so she just took them back to their dads.
She's already a piece of shit.
So she gets more money for her student loans because they think that she has her kids.
Oh, no.
And then she misses classes and shit for her residency, blaming her kids that she doesn't have.
She's all right.
She is super trash early on. Trash dumpster fire. So then her long-term boyfriend, and I literally have in like parentheses, I just gave her a C so she knew in parentheses. No clue how she got one, but I'm gonna guess her sex is fire.
Okay, now I gotta look her up.
She is ugly as fuck.
That you always say.
I always assume that. My assumption in life, everyone, is if you're ugly and you are pulling men,
you better bring it.
You've got to be over there fucking reverse cowgirling all day long. Like, you're putting in the work. At the end of sex, you're sweaty. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
I just want to make sure.
Happening.
Something's happening in there. Blowjobs for breakfast. I don't know.
Blowjobs for breakfast.
He decides to hop off the crazy train and end their relationship. Well, she decides to stalk him and call him repeatedly. When he didn't answer, she would then go to him and verbally abuse him.
Oh, no.
In an attempt to just be like, chill the fuck out. This guy lets her into his home. He's like, all right, come in, whatever. And she camps out for over a month.
Oh, no.
And refuses to leave.
She just squats?
Yeah.
Sounds like
he breaks up with her,
everything.
and she's like, cool, let me in your house so we can have a conversation, and then never leaves it. Fucking crazy.
She's like, no, I live here now.
Yeah, and she was prone to emotional outbursts and physical assaults. So that's normal.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy pants. Mm-hmm. The ex-boyfriend decides, like, he fucking just leaves. He, like, leaves his place and moves to Pennsylvania.
I think I would, too. Be like, you know what? Just keep it. Just keep it. You can stay here. It means more to you than it does to me.
So I'm going to insert this and say, like, I just want you guys to know I don't have any of the details. I'm literally just going to drop this fruitcake off at your house, and I, too, am going to fly to Pennsylvania.
So you're, okay.
So
you're like, don't ask any questions.
Don't ask any follow-up.
All right.
So she's still unwilling to leave the guy alone, and she goes to his home and attempts an elaborate and psychologically disturbing suicide. So the guy finds Turner draped in a black dress, holding a dozen roses, coupled with 2 letters, and one of them is a suicide note.
What was the other one? You can't do that. You just farted in the you're farting in the elevator and you're getting off.
I know. I literally told you I'm going to fart in this elevator and get off. Well, I told you I'm going to drop a fruitcake off and fly to another state.
I'm still in here getting pink eye.
Well,
from this
eat
fart.
The fruitcake and just let it happen, okay?
Okay.
So we're back to Andrew Bagby, right? So his friends in this documentary paint a wild picture of who this broad was. First, they all say that she wasn't his type at all, probably because she was fucking ugly.
Because she was his great aunt.
Right?
That's probably why. They'd be like, hey, you probably shouldn't date that. You shouldn't date her.
She often said crazy ass shit.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I live here?
Like, I can't even cope with it. They would hear her saying, like, really sexual comments and, like, would say inappropriate shit. And there's always the question, like, do you tell your friend or, like, do you not? Be like, yo, your bitch is psycho. His friends didn't because he had been engaged before and it ended badly. So they were just like happy that he was dating. I do have questions on that because his ex-fiance is in the documentary and she's really pretty. Really pretty.
Yeah.
And they said that it ended badly and I didn't dig in more, but I'm going to guess that she ended it if he was really devastated from it.
Yeah.
But his ex-fiance on the documentary says that fucking Shirley would call her and tell her about their love life and how much happier that he is with her than he ever was with.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure like she would talk about how good their sex was.
100%.
How fucking crazy.
That's insane.
I know. In 2000, he graduated and moved to Syracuse, New York to undertake a surgical residency. At the same time, Shirley moved to Iowa. She was from Canada. So now she comes to the States.
Okay.
The couple maintained a long-distance relationship with Shirley visiting Andrew in New York several times and Andrew making the trip to Iowa once. I love that journey for him. He was like, you can come to me, but I'm not coming to you.
Yeah.
Iowa's gorgeous, though. So, oh, wait, no, I'm thinking Idaho.
You are Idaho.
I know.
This is true.
I'm not. But so Andrew, sadly, he hated surgery and he had to make a career change. Like, it was just not.
Really?
Yeah, he hated it.
You don't hear about that all the time.
Right? And he found that out fast. Like, literally a year into it, he's like, I can't fucking do
One
this.
cut, he's like, this blows.
I know. He took a residency at a family practice in Pennsylvania, and he was super fucking happy. Like, at this time in Andrew's life, he's living his best life.
That's good.
Yeah.
He figured it
Everyone
out.
said that it was probably like the best time of his life. So now from the documentary, I gathered that he had been basically ending it before they did the long distance thing. I have a little bit of confusion there, mostly because I didn't pay enough attention. Not because it wasn't clear. It's clear, but I also was reading I was basically marrying the documentary with 3 different websites. So I have some confusion, but just because I have some confusion, maybe if you like some light research, you can research it yourself. I feel like they were, like he was, whenever he moved, like kind of the breakup thing was kind of happening for him, at least. But not really for her.
That's what I was going to say. If she'll just go and squat in somebody's house, I'm sure she could
there's
just
so much crazy
fly
shit,
and
sis.
show up and be like...
The way this ends, I can't even.
I've heard the name, but I can't remember the story, so keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as I mentioned, I think he kind of thought the relationship would fizzle out, as I would have too, whenever you're like, you're doing all that. But during one of the last visits, as Turner was leaving Bagby's apartment to travel home, she decided to turn around and she informed him that she forgot to lock the door and needed to go back and lock it. However, she ended up stealing a lot of his shit.
Like what?
Apparently, during the trip, they were fighting over a female friend of his because she was super possessive like that.
I would imagine.
So whenever Bagby gets back, he found out that somebody had robbed him. And so his laptop, movie, and music collection and many of his personal items were gone.
Oh, man.
With no signs of forced entry, he never filed any charges. And essentially, he knew it was her, but he couldn't do anything about it, which makes no sense to me. Whatever.
Yeah.
But eventually enough is enough. And on November 3rd, 2001, he ended the relationship with Shirley and put her on a plane back to Iowa. And like their relationship is done. Well.
Oh, no.
The following day, Shirley calls Andrew several times. She then made the 16-hour drive from her home in Latrobe with her gun in the passenger seat of her car.
Oh, shit.
Early in the morning of November 5th, he opens the door to his home to find a distressed Shirley on his porch. Real quick.
Oh, no.
So he took her to the airport. They break up. And as soon as she gets home, she literally drives back. Yeah. And so he ends up calming her down with the promise of meeting her after work to talk about it.
So he's like, hey, I promise I'll let's put a pin in this.
I got to go to work.
Pause the fight.
Yeah. And it's not the fight. It's over.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Pause your
When he
emotions.
arrived at work that day, Andrew was visibly shaken.
You think?
And he confided in his friend about the episode that morning. And the guy talks about it in the documentary. His friend begs him not to meet Shirley alone.
Yeah.
Like, and the guy talks about it. He's like, and he literally says how Andrew like thoroughly dismisses it. He's like, what is she going to do? Like, it's no big deal. And he's like, well, don't meet her alone. His friend was like, whatever you do, don't meet her alone. And he agrees. He's like, dude, don't worry about it. It'll take 2 seconds. I'll meet you after, though. So I'll be over there at like 6:30. For some reason, I keep thinking this was recorded. And I just can't remember if like the guy somehow recorded the conversation or if he was just talking about it. But he was like, I'll see you at 6:30 or whatever the time was.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to go meet her and then I'm coming to your house. And his friend literally, like, truly was begging him not to. He goes, don't meet a woman that you broke up with at the airport, dropped her off, and then she fucking drove there. He was like, this is not normal. That is not normal behavior.
No, that's insane.
Yeah. Sadly, he never fucking makes it. On November 6, 2001, Andrew Bagby's body was found near his car in a parking lot. He had been shot 5 times.
Oh my God.
Once in the face, once in the chest, once in the back of the head, and twice in his buttocks.
What?
The bullet used to kill Andrew were found to be .22 caliber. Police in Pennsylvania immediately contacted Shirley Turner. She told the authorities that she had been in bed sick all day on the 5th of November, despite evidence that she made calls from Latrobe, used Andrew's house phone to call in sick, and assessed a number of her personal accounts from his computer. By the time a warrant was issued for her arrest, she had fled to Canada.
Oh my God. She literally left the biggest trail.
100, and I literally wrote, please note, all of the evidence here, like his family and friends, all knew she did it. They just needed her in the U.S. to arrest her.
Yeah.
Turner claimed that she met with Bagby at Keystone State Park, but that he put the gun in his trunk. There's like in the documentary recordings of, they don't talk about, I'll tell you more about the documentary here in a second, but you can hear her try to like lie and it just doesn't, it never makes sense, right? Like she just sounds really stupid.
Yeah.
And whatever, no one's shocked there. But let me tell you more.
Okay.
Investigators interviewed Turner's shooting instructor because she got that handgun and then went to take classes.
Oh my God.
And it ejected live rounds during lessons. And this was consistent with an unspent round that was recovered near Bagby's body. So the instructor knew her gun, and her gun would shoot, but then it would also dislodge a round that wasn't used.
Oh.
Yeah. And so he had known that. Later, a Derry resident where they lived reported having seen Bagby's Toyota Corolla parked next to Turner's RAV4. I hate that she had the same fucking vehicle as me.
I knew.
10 minutes after Bagby made his last phone call to Simpson, and the Corolla parked alone the following morning. Someone saw her vehicle.
They had everything.
Yeah. Let's all just unpack this one together. The lot number on a box of condoms found in Turner's Council Bluffs apartment matched a box purchased by Bagby in Latrobe on the night of the breakup. So apparently there's 2 boxes of condoms with the same lot number. So they came from the same box, same location.
Oh.
Anyway.
Lot numbers.
Also in her apartment were MapQuest printouts, let's all remember that, for road directions to Latrobe.
She handed them everything.
Well, at this point, she fled.
Yeah.
So she didn't hand him shit. Well, she then left the country.
I mean, she left all the pieces. She dropped all the breadcrumbs where they could literally
she didn't try. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, now shit gets crazier.
Okay. How?
Sadly, there's so much. So she ends up announcing that she's pregnant with his child.
Like for real or
So apparently at one point, she does use that as like a lie. She tried to keep him at 1.2 and faked a pregnancy before, but she actually was fucking pregnant.
Oh.
So they had sex before she murdered him on that trip.
Wow.
Not to mention, and what I said, that she had lied about being pregnant before to try to keep him. And so anyway, in 2002, she gives birth to a baby and names him Zachary Andrew Turner, which is the name of Dear Zachary. So let me tell you this.
Okay.
His best friend had made the documentary to show Zach how great his father was. Aww. So the whole movie, the whole documentary was for the baby. Aww. So that he could see how great. And so he travels all over the U.S. to talk to Andrew's family too.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll just...
What a good friend.
Wipe the tears, right?
What a good friend.
Yeah, I agree. Turner initially refused to, allow David and Kathleen Bagby, his parents, to see their grandson, fearing that they would kidnap him. And she went so far as to discharge her family law lawyer because of his positive attitude towards the Bagbys. So let's just unpack it. Apparently because she was in Canada, she was able to keep her baby.
Oh my God.
Of the man that she murdered. And they know that she murdered. They know that she killed him.
Yeah.
And they let her stay out of prison and take care of the child. And then keep the child away from Andrew's family.
That's wild.
And the baby loved them so much that the baby reacted like he wanted to be with the Bagbys.
Oh, of course he did.
And so she on several occasions, it was noted that Zachary had poor attachment to his mother and preferred the company of other adults, particularly her grandparents.
Wow.
This preference was made especially clear during Zachary's first birthday party at St. John's McDonald's, after which Turner said to Kathleen, he obviously loves you more than me, so why don't you take him?
Oh, my God.
And they wanted him.
Yeah.
They wanted him.
So she finally did it?
No.
God.
She was returned to jail in November of 2002, pending a decision by the federal justice minister regarding whether she should be extradited to the United States. However, in January 2003, Justice Welsh again released her, arguing that the murder was not directed at the public at large and that Turner was presumed to be innocent.
No way.
What the absolute fucking fuck you piece of shit. Fuck you, person, because a whole bunch of shit happens. Fuck you.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck you. That's all I have to say is fuck you. This is what
You're fired up.
I am so mad because of what ends up happening. Let's settle in
Okay.
for some crazy shit.
Here we go. Here we keep going.
On July 4th of 2003, Turner meets this guy at a bar in St. John's, okay? They date for like 14 seconds. Legit, like 14 seconds. And they have sex literally twice. That's it.
What? Okay.
I don't know why. I know how many times they had sex, but I know how many times they had sex. Because this is the crazy MO of this chick.
Yeah.
The guy then breaks it off with her, like whatever, I'm air quoting relationships because I don't really think they had a relationship. After learning from a friend that she's connected to Andrew Bagby's murder. So a friend calls him and I was like, dude, you're fucking the bitch that literally murdered her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. That's another good friend.
Well, when he does that, Shirley goes crazy and makes a total of 200 threatening phone calls to this guy over the following month.
200?
Turner claims that she was pregnant by the man, with no evidence of this.
Yeah.
He then contacts the RNC on 3 occasions to complain about her harassment, which both violated the terms of her bail and was considered grounds to lose custody of Zachary. However, because the guy didn't identify himself and declined to file an actual criminal complaint against her, no investigation was launched. God. When the constable contacted Turner's lawyer, what do you think about the harassment? They denied the allegations.
What? Whoa.
Ooh,
she didn't just be like, you know
coming.
what? Yeah. Yeah.
On August 18th in 2003, so just the next month, Zachary was scheduled to be in his mother's custody. So Turner first purchased her prescription of lorazepam from a pharmacy in St. John's. And lorazepam, if you're not familiar, is a sedative that they use to treat seizure disorders and like epilepsy.
Okay. So for good cause when used correctly?
Correct.
Okay.
She then drove with Zachary to nearby Conception Bay South, where the man she had met at the bar lived, because she's so wrapped up in this guy from the bar now.
Seriously? Okay.
She is so crazy. You touch her and she's obsessed with you.
It's like tag gear. It's the worst game of tag ever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So she leaves her car parked near his home.
Okay.
Get ready.
I'm not.
With photographs of herself and Zachary, as well as a used tampon.
Stop.
On the front seat.
Stop. I'm so grossed out.
Yes.
Why?
Police concluded that she was attempting to frame the boyfriend for her planned murder-suicide. Like,
wait,
that she wasn't pregnant and he wanted her to be pregnant.
Oh.
And so he found the tampon.
I'm not diving into that.
That was a piece of this puzzle that I was excited to share with you. Because it was just so bizarre. People are fucking crazy.
Like, no, okay, keep going.
Well, and here's I hate everything. She then takes the lorazepam and mixes it into Zachary's baby formula.
No.
And ingesting a toxic dose herself, she straps little baby Zachary to her chest with her sweater, and she jumps off of the fishing wharf at Foxtrot Marina into the Atlantic Ocean.
No.
She drowned.
The baby didn't, right? Tell me.
What do you think happened? The baby then swam?
I don't know.
My God. It was determined that Zachary Turner was rendered unconscious by the lorazepam, and he did not suffer at all. So he was knocked out, but the baby drowned too. Turner's body was found on a beach by a vacationing couple, with Zachary's body discovered nearby.
That's sad.
It is so sad. Mm-hmm. What's also sad is this documentary. So let's talk about Kurt Kuka, who's a close friend of Bagby and the director of the Dear Zachary documentary.
Okay.
He began an aggressive campaign to screen the film before every member of the House of Commons of Canada. So the saddest part, right, is that the documentary was meant for the baby that she then killed. So everyone loved that baby, and everyone wanted to give that baby a great life. And she stole the last piece of Andrew. Not only did she kill their son, she then took their grandson.
She sure did.
Fuck her. And so he wasn't alone in his actions, and soon there were large screenings being held for senators and representatives in the Parliament of Canada.
To change things?
Good. In turn, Zachary's bill was passed. The bill proposed the inclusion of a criminal code that denied bail to anyone who was a threat to any person under the age of 18.
Good. I'm glad something good came of it.
That was the sad death of Andrew and Zachary Bagby at the hands of Shirley Turner.
Fuck her in the ass.
Once more, balls are dropped.
Yeah.
And that's what it's unbelievable to me that Canada decided to give a baby to an unstable woman.
Yeah.
Proven unstable on multiple occasions. Also would have had child abuse charges against her already.
Yeah. And whoever that judge was fucked up real bad.
Oh.
Like,
saying you're not, how you say it wasn't at large, she was stalking men.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions.
Maybe
men flew to leave her, to get away from her.
People got on planes to leave, for one. Like, that says something.
Yes.
Man, okay.
And then the fact that in all of this, she becomes obsessed with another man.
And he literally just like winked at her.
Yes.
She's like, I love you forever.
Yeah. Here's my dirty tampon. The fuck?
I'm so grossed out by that part, too. Yeah, it's really sad.
It is such a sad story.
But it could have been a judge that just was like, well, he's just being dramatic. She just likes the little guy. Like,
I don't either.
I don't know. I just crossed my arms and I'm angry about it.
And like, it's just so sad. If you have time, look it up. Dear Zachary, I think it was on Hulu and it's free.
Yeah.
So watch it. It's sad. It's sad. It's unfortunate. Important things to keep in mind. Again, if you're men, for the 8 of you, I'm sure they're listening to this podcast, the 2 straight men maybe that's listening, like, women can fucking hurt you. We can kill you too. We can kill you too.
And
be smart.
That's right.
Be smart. If you have a crazy bitch in your life, realize she can hurt you too. Be smart. Be in public places, and bring
walk
your
outside
friends.
in public. Pace in public. Yes.
Yes.
Well, that was a sad story.
It was really sad.
Yeah.
And definitely to see the documentary and just want to cry to realize like that the whole, I didn't finish it.
I was going to ask if
I
you
got
did.
super far in it, but it was so hard because I knew that Zachary was killed and the whole beginning of it. Everything I saw was talking like Zach didn't die and that it was written to Zach. And that's what just was even more heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because she ends up killing him too. And it's so hurtful. Anyway, fuck Shirley Turner, you skank asshole.
That's right. That's our next shirt.
Yeah, right? Fucker.
This is the story, and I'm hoping you haven't heard it because I had not. Lisa Michelle Lambert and the murder of Lori Show. Any of that ring a bell?
No.
Okay, well, here we do go.
I also thought I knew the other dude's name, and I didn't know anything about that story. So there's that. Let's do it.
Let's do it
to it.
The source is Murderpedia, Deadly Women, episode 14, season 4, called Love Sick. Wikipedia, YouTube, and 2 episodes of a podcast called Crimes of Passion.
Ooh.
Yes. So here we go. Lisa Michelle Lambert was born in 1972 to Judy and Lynn. She was apparently a really good kid, and they called her like every parent's dream, right? When Lisa was 7, her mom had a miscarriage, and this fucked her up and sent her into a dark depression. So Lisa, at a young age, was left in charge of her 5-year-old brother. Had to do like a ton of stuff because her mom was not doing great. She bounced back a little bit, and she actually had 2 more boys, but she was still the oldest, so she still took on a lot of the responsibility. They also put a lot of pressure on her to get straight A's, do housework, all that shit. So in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, from what I read, being smart basically meant you got bullied a fuck ton if you were smart. I don't know.
What year? When was this? And then
It would have been in the 80s.
okay,
Yep.
I guess I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like an 80s movie.
Yeah, that sounds. Yep, 100%.
Yeah. Like, look at the nerds. And it's like, but they're going to be your boss one day. So
Yeah.
good for you. By high school, Lisa went a totally different route and she reinvented herself. So she stopped trying so hard with her grades and she started hanging out with the popular kids. And then she became like the biggest bully in school.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Cut to summer of 89. She was 16 years old. She went to the community pool and she noticed this lifeguard named Lawrence Yunkin. Lawrence was an 18-year-old cocky little shit, but he started hitting on her. And before long, they started dating. The first day, he told Lisa that he didn't like her name. And instead of being like, well, I don't care, your name is Lawrence, she said, oh, it's fine. You can call me Michelle. So she let him call her. He changed her name on day 1. Yeah. Day 1, he's like, that's fine. She's like, you're cute. You can call me Michelle.
Why Michelle?
It's her middle name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll take it. I'll take it.
But it's just such a weird, like if Will met, like, and he was like, I don't like the name Heather. I was like, well, me either, but that's just the cross I bear.
The fuck?
I know. On date 2, Lawrence, he already took her to meet Lisa to meet his parents on date 2. 4th date, he raped her. She claimed he was so sorry and felt guilty afterwards. And he was like, no, we should get married.
I don't know where to go. I am having whiplash from what's happening here.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time like coping with what you're saying and like processing it. It's a lot like the Bowling Green sex video that we saw in the last episode. So I
see it on your face.
I'm having a hard time here. Okay. So date 4, he rapes her.
Date 4, he rapes her.
They're 18 and 16?
Yes.
Okay.
He says he loved her. He was like, no, I didn't. It was consensual and I loved her. She says, rape.
Oh
he apparently didn't love everything about her though, because he made her change her name. Then he made her dye her hair blonde, and she even got blue colored contacts because he liked the Barbie look.
Oh.
Yep.
I gotta look okay. Give me 2 seconds. I'm taking my phone out and I'm going to look this motherfucker up. What's her name?
Her name is Lisa Michelle Lambert, and his name is Lawrence Yunkin, like Duncan with a Y.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going while you do that.
Do it to it.
So, end of the summer, they lied to his parents and said that her parents kicked her out and he moved into their house with them, or she moved in there with them. They were up each other's asses so far that Lisa dropped out of school just so she could spend every waking moment with him.
He was good looking.
Super healthy.
Oh, no.
They got engaged. She's 16. She got engaged, but then they started getting super jealous and possessive of like each other. In the fall of 89, Lisa, she was like, hey, Lawrence, I really want to go back to high school. And he threw a fit. He was like, no, you're not going to be around guys all day. We're not doing that.
What?
Yeah, he didn't want her to go back to high school because he didn't want her to be around men all day. Lisa was also jealous of every female, though, even his mom, that she lived with. 1 year later, the Yunkins were actually asked to leave their apartment complex because they fought all night, every night, and their neighbors were pissed. So instead of them leaving, they kicked them out. They were like, look, you can't do this anymore. This is embarrassing for us. You guys need to go. So they moved to a nearby town.
Okay, so they fought so much.
Every night that they were asked to move out because it was that loud.
Why are their parents not being like, this is not...
They felt sorry for her because she didn't have anywhere to go.
I know,
unquote.
But this is not this is a toxic relationship.
And they're 12. They're 16 and 18.
I know. Like, what the fuck? You're still a parent.
I know.
Beat him in the face. No, I'm kidding. But like...
Yeah.
Oh, my fuck.
I know. So they moved to a nearby town, and that's when Lisa claimed that Lawrence started getting physically abusive and sodomized her, because she said she was friends with a male coworker. Other people said that Lisa was the abusive one and hit him in public. So there's going to be two sides this whole time.
Always.
Yeah. So she'd hit him in public, yell at him, put him down, and she was really good at playing the victim. So 1991, they broke up, but for financial reasons, they stayed roommates. That's a terrible idea.
That is horrible.
Yeah.
Has no one seen the breakup?
Right.
Like with Jennifer Aniston and the tall dude.
Adam Sandler? No. Vince Vaughn?
Yes.
Yes. Lisa started dating someone else to make him jealous, and Lawrence lost his shit. And he was like, all right, well, I'm going to go live with my parents. Lisa lost it because she found out 2 days after he moved out, he's 20 years old now, he started dating 16-year-old Laurie Show. To make it worse, Lisa knew Laurie, and they hated each other. Yeah. Laurie Show, she was born in 1975. She almost died at birth. It was her miracle child. Her mom called her, all that stuff. When she was 10, her grandmother dropped dead in front of her and had a heart attack. And then, to make her feel better, her parents tried to take her to Disney World. And then when they took her, they fought the entire time so bad that they were broken up when they got back. So she went to...
Whoa!
Yeah, she went through a lot of shit real quick. She was 10. So.
Oh my gosh! It was the happiest place in the world. What were their parents fight?
She said,
"Could you imagine
thing.
going on a vacation with Will and you guys just fight so much that you break up? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Like, and one of them just had their mother die.
Yeah, it's a lot. So Lisa went to live with her mom in 91, and they moved to East Lampeter, Pennsylvania.
So much is happening in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's right.
Apparently, the theme was Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I've been to Lancaster County. I have a friend that lives there. Anyway.
You have a fucking friend, Heather? And you're going to visit them? You guys are about to see a fight and a breakup, too.
Her mom said that Laurie, once they got there, fell in with the wrong crowd, and that's how she crossed paths with Lisa and Lawrence when they were still together. Again, they hated each other. Like, for example, Lori was 16 trying to look cooler for the older kid. So she said, I want to become a model. And Lisa got in her face and said, you are too ugly to be a model. But then she got pissed because Lawrence goes, I think you could do it. Yep. Knowing how toxic they are, he said that in front of
everyone's Well, okay, he raped her and sodomized her. So him saying, I think you could do it is like the least of all of
it. They
it.
poked each other,
But it's like, this just sounds stupid. Yeah. I'm sorry. This sounds like a stupid episode of Melrose Place.
Yeah,
that's what this feels like.
Get ready. So when Lori and Lawrence got together, Lisa flipped out. The morning after she heard the news, she called Lori screaming and threatening to kill her for going after her man, even though they weren't even together.
I know, but come on.
Yeah.
They all knew what they were doing.
Lori was like, no, I'm going to keep dating him. And he even took her to his parents' house, and they were super pumped because she was like polite and like had goals, and she was the opposite of what Lisa was. Shortly after this.
So his parents liked Lori more than Lisa.
Which I'm sure helped. Then Lawrence was supposed to take Lori to the fair on a date, but instead he took her to a dead-end road and he raped her.
This guy sucks.
Yeah. Lori didn't tell anyone, and for some reason she stayed with him after that, because I'm sure he was like, I'm sorry, I mean to. Lisa was obsessively calling Lawrence this whole time, threatening to kill herself unless he got back with her, but he didn't care. Lisa started telling her parents, who thought they were still together at this time, that Lawrence was beating the shit out of her and making up all kinds of stories, getting sympathy from her parents. So at the end of June, when she found out she was carrying his child, the whole situation sent her off the deep end. Lisa was pregnant. She found out. So not only is she freaking out because he doesn't want to be with her, now she's knocked up.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. She also found out that they had sex. Although she didn't know that she was raped, people just said they hooked up, and then there she goes. Lisa called Lori's mom, Hazel, and cussed her out. And she was like, well, I'm pregnant, and she's dating him. And Lori's mom was like, yeah, you're going to break up. My kid's 16, and you're not getting in the middle of all that. She sounds crazy. So they broke up. Lawrence found out he was going to be a dad.
So, okay, so Lori's mother was a mother, is what you're telling me?
Yeah. Her mom, I really like Hazel in the story. So, yes, she did mother her. And Lawrence went back with Lisa to try to work it out. He didn't want to. He was miserable, but he tried to work it out.
Lori was a rapist, so he should die.
Right. He sucks too. Lori was actually like all right with this. She was like, hey, it's cool. We broke up. Wasn't that serious. You fucking raped me anyway. So bye. And she started dating someone else and got a job at the mall. And her mom was like, oh, good. You're doing better again. Lisa was still hung up on him being with Lori, and that's all she talked about. So instead of being mad at Lawrence, she focused all of her rage on Lori. Like, it's your fault, even though it wasn't her fault at the end of the day. So Lisa started doing that 18-year-old bullshit, like spreading rumors and making her public enemy number one, telling everybody she was a slut and doing all this stuff. She came up into the middle of Lori's job, and she was talking to a customer. She got in her face. She's pregnant, by the way. Cornered her, started screaming at her at the top of the lungs, telling her she was going to kill her and stuff so bad that her manager was like, can you leave? And they kicked her out. Lori called Lisa when she got home and was like, hey, I'm not with him anymore. I don't like him anymore. I found out you're pregnant. Like, go. Lisa
I want nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Like, leave me alone.
Lisa, instead of being like, okay, she's like, no. And Lori had it on speakerphone or whatever. Her mom heard it. Her mom ripped the phone out of her hand and was like, leave my kid alone. She doesn't like you. Lori she made some enemies at school, and Lisa used that to her advantage. So Lori in high school had kind of pissed a couple people off doing, what high school petty shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lisa goes and gathers up all these bitches that don't like her. Granted, she's not even in school.
I was going to say, is she even in school?
She's in the drama, but she's not at school because Lawrence doesn't want her to be around dudes.
What the fuck?
So
she's also pregnant.
Yeah, and that. So she got a few girls that encouraged them to get Lori to go downtown. And Lisa said she was going to grab her, tie her to a pole, and cut off all of her hair as a prank because she had really pretty hair.
What is up with bitches doing that? That was one of the other ones that we...
Yeah, I don't know.
My gosh.
And the girls that she got, though, figured out she was going to slit her throat because she heard her say that. So instead of getting her downtown, they went to her condo and they were like, do not leave the house. This bitch is going to kill you.
So the girls that don't like her...
were so scared of Lisa and for her, they figured out that she's not just going to cut her hair. They went and told her not to leave her house and tipped her off.
Wow.
Then so Lisa, instead of being like, I probably shouldn't do this, she goes and she tries to get a few other girls to do it, and they all backed out because she started doing that bullshit again. And they're like, no, you're not going to cut her hair. You're going to slit her throat.
You're going to kill her.
Yeah.
What the fuck, guys?
So Lawrence, the whole time,
This
baby
is
daddy.
insane.
I know.
This is so crazy. I
know.
I like how I'm like, do a stalking case. And I'm like, what is this? Like, did she even stalk her?
Just wait.
Oh my God.
So Lawrence tried to ignore all this and seem happy, but he wasn't. But he was happy that he wasn't at the end of her anger. So he drove Lisa to the mall, waited on Lori to get off work, and watched her throw Lori against the wall and beat the shit out of her outside.
While she's pregnant.
Yeah, Lisa's pregnant this whole time doing all this crazy shit. A few weeks later, Lawrence took her to the mall again. And when Lori saw him, she ran back inside and called the cops. She told her mom and the cops that Lawrence had raped her. Like, she finally told them because she hadn't told anybody. But she refused to press charges because she was scared of Lisa. Duh.
Yeah.
Lisa,
I'm terrified of Lisa. I'd be like, why is there a pregnant bitch like
I don't even
me?
like him anymore. Like
I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And she's just attacking me for no reason. That is so insane.
So Lori and her mom, anytime she saw him in public, she would just berate them and scream at them. Saw him in the grocery store, started screaming, saying she'd fucked her man, she was a slut, and all this stuff.
When she was raped by, oh my God.
Exactly. Lori's mom got so pissed off the last night. She said, your man raped my daughter, and if you don't leave her alone, we will press charges against him. And this was news to Lisa, because keep in mind, she didn't even know that he had raped her. She thought they just slept together.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So by the fall, she couldn't keep her little girl gang together because that's all she talked about, to the point where she was obsessive about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in September, she met a new girl. And she's like, oh. Because the new girl.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
She looks fucking crazy, actually.
Oh, yeah. She fucking is. In September, she met a new girl who obviously hadn't heard all her bullshit yet. And she didn't know any better. And this was 17-year-old Tabitha Buck. So Tabitha only got Lisa's crazy side of the story. Like, Lori Show is a terrible homewrecker and all this stuff. Like, she only got lies. October 91, Lawrence took that crazy bitch back to the mall again, and Lori was outside waiting for a ride home. Pregnant Lisa jumps out, starts slamming her head against the truck this time, screaming she'd ruined the life of her unborn baby forever.
Why?
Yeah. She said she was going to take care of her if she called the cops. So Lori called her mom to tell her. Her mom got so pissed she called the cops and filed the charges against Lisa, finally. Yeah. But for some reason, the cops didn't take it as seriously. They waited a month to even do anything about it.
I'm sure.
A month.
They never take anything. They still don't take shit seriously now.
A month. And December 16th, they tried to track Lisa down, but she had moved, and they were like, she moved. Lisa was
problem's done.
Yeah. Lisa, who, keep in mind, 6 months pregnant now.
I was wondering how long this was all happening.
6 months pregnant. Lisa was 6 months pregnant at the time, and somehow she heard she was wanted for assault, and then she went banana pants. This also made her scared, thinking, oh my God, she's going to file rape charges against my baby daddy. December 19th, 1991, Lisa, this crazy bitch, 6 months pregnant, calls the hospital where Hazel's working, Lori's mom, tells her she's a high school counselor and needs to meet with her about her daughter. Her mom's like, what's wrong? And she goes, no, we need to talk about this in person. She's like, okay, well, I can't come today. I'm working. I'll come first thing in the morning tomorrow. Lori was real confused because her mom came home and her mom and dad were like, why are you getting called to the counselor's office? A cop came by that night and said Lisa hadn't been formally charged with the assault, gave them an update because they couldn't find her still. The same time, Lawrence and Lisa went to Kmart and bought a kill kit. But Lisa went in by herself. Lawrence is trying, the whole time. He's like, oh, I didn't have anything to do. He's just her fucking murder chauffeur.
Oh, my God.
So she got some rope, 2 ski masks, and then they went to Tabitha's. And when they got there, she was flipping her shit. She told Tabitha, I want to kill Lori, and you won't get in trouble. Like, we got to go kill Lori. Tabitha didn't take her seriously, though, because that's all she talked about all the time. She wanted her to like her. She didn't have any friends. So she just thought she was...
Tabitha.
God,
it just sounds like a fucking... loser. Sorry. I'm kidding. Tabitha's a fine name.
Yeah, but this Tabitha sucks. So
just making a joke.
But she thought she was bluffing because that's all she talked about, right? The next morning...
No. You're like, oh, but no, not
if that's
you.
All
but
you
Tabitha,
talked
if
about,
that's all you talk about, I would totally think that you're going to fucking do it.
Yeah, if that's all you talked about, I'm like, sis,
you're eventually going to do it.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah. The next morning, Lawrence and Lisa went and picked up Tabitha, and they were wearing black clothes, gloves, and ski masks. They got there at Lori's condo about 7 a.m. The girls got out. They told Lawrence, hey, come back in 30 minutes. So in the meantime, he went and got breakfast at McDonald's. They knocked on the door, and Lori answered, and they busted in and jumped her. And it's going to get graphic, so if y'all don't like that,
her
skip
parents
ahead.
were home?
She thought she was at the school. Her mom was. Her mom was at the school. Her dad was gone already. Her mom went to the school thinking she had a meeting. Oh my
gosh, that's so sad.
Mm-hmm. Lisa grabbed her, and when she broke free, she tried to run outside, and Tabitha stopped her, and Lori scratched the shit out of her face whenever she did, trying to get out the front door. Lisa grabbed a huge knife, swung it at Lori, who out of reflex grabbed the blade, and it cut her hand open. She tried to run to her room. Lisa, 6 months pregnant, I cannot get over that part, pounced on her, started cutting off her hair with the knife, and threw her on the ground. She started pounding her head and handed the knife to Tabitha and said, slit her throat. And Tabitha's like, no.
Whoa.
So Tabitha, because then Lisa gets annoyed. She's like, okay, well, fuck you, move. Hold her legs down. So Tabitha sits on Lori's legs and holds her down. Lisa put the rope around her neck in an attempt to make it look like a suicide.
Oh, because a slashed hand.
Exactly.
My God.
Lisa started stabbing her and making huge gashes in her neck. And then she said, is she dead? Tabitha said, is she dead? And she said, well, we're not going to leave the job undone. And she cut her one more time. They ran out the front door and they just left her. But her mom, who's been at the high school waiting for about 10 minutes, is like, this doesn't feel right. Something's not right. And her intuition kicked in, so she ran straight home. Lawrence picks up the girls. They're blood-soaked, and they actually passed her mom on the way out. Like, her mom was coming home, and they just passed. They had just
like
left.
In the car?
Mm-hmm. They just passed each other on the road.
Oh, my gosh.
So Hazel pulled in
this poor mom.
I know. She's on the she's on the documentary, too. So her mom pulls in the driveway, and the neighbor's outside, and it's like, is everything okay? Because I heard a lot of loud, weird stuff, right? Hazel rushes upstairs, and she finds Lori still clinging to life. She said, who did this to you? And she said, Lisa, and then died a few minutes later.
Oh.
Yeah. These three shitheads cleaned up, and they came up with an alibi, like practiced it, rehearsed it, and everything, right? They said, the story is so stupid. They were going to say
this makes me so sad.
Yeah.
This is so sad.
So
fuck murders.
I know.
That's going to be a shirt.
Yeah.
Fuck murders.
That's true. Though the three shitheads, they said the girls got jumped by two Puerto Rican girls at McDonald's, and they beat the shit out of Tabitha, which is why she had the scratch on her face. They dropped Tabitha off at high school, because keep in mind, she's a senior this whole time. They dropped her off at school.
Oh, my gosh.
After they just did this. And Lawrence and Lisa ran errands. So they literally all just acted like nothing was wrong. People noticed the scratch on Tabitha's face because it was so bad. Like, you don't just come into school with a big fucking red scratch on your face, bloody. So people are like, what is that? And she said she got jumped at McDonald's. That's what she told everybody. 10 p.m. that night, they killed her at 7 a.m. 10 p.m., they went to the bowling alley because they wanted to be seen and pretend nothing was wrong. The guy saw them because the cops had issued a statement about Lawrence and Lisa that they were looking for them because they, quote unquote, couldn't find them. Apparently, they just show up at the bowling alley, but a guy remembered their face and called them in. And then when they got there, the neighbor had seen people outside of their house, but Lawrence is 6'4". The girls are like 5'3" and 5'7". So the neighbor saw someone, didn't know what gender it was, but obviously it wasn't Lawrence. And there's a girl sitting there with a bloody face. So they're like that big scratch on her face. And they're like, well, you probably had something to do with it. Why are you with them? Hours of questioning. Lisa tries to pin everything on Tabitha, the 17-year-old senior, that she roped into all this shit.
I'm sure.
Yeah. They lied to Lawrence, though, the cops did, and said the girls confessed. So then he was like, oh, yeah, they did everything, because he thought he was going to get in trouble. So they were like, if you don't tell us. Lisa and Tabitha were charged with first-degree murder, and Lawrence was charged with hindering apprehension, and they all went to jail. Lisa and Lawrence, still obsessed with each other, they start writing notes to each other, and they said way too much.
So when did Lawrence care about her again? I'm so confused because he didn't want to be with her, and now you're like, they're obsessed with each other. It's like, when did he change?
Whenever he like leaned in to that they were going to be together forever because of the baby, I think he had to get over that part.
Get over that part. Get over the fact that he didn't care about her.
Yeah. I mean,
I cannot make myself love someone.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. But they started writing notes, and obviously people are going to see them. In March of 92, Lisa had their baby girl, and she had to give custody of her baby to her parents. Lawrence took a plea deal and agreed to testify against the girls in exchange for serving more than 3 years, which also meant, though, that Lisa could get the death penalty. So, like, it's mixed signals. Like, they're obsessed with each other, but, like, he's still covering his own ass. Because he's like, I love her, but she could get the death penalty if I go against her, and he did anyway.
He's a fucking dingling.
Yeah.
Well, he's a rapist, too. He's a fucking idiot. Fuck him.
I know.
He's stupid. He's just really, really dumb, I think. I think he's really, really dumb.
Yeah, none of them sound,
I think he's just stupid.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. The trial began in July of 92, and Lawrence was a star witness, of course, but that backfired because they showed all of his flaws and made him look bad. The defense did. They also had the one note that he'd written where, again, he said too much shit. Like, he kept saying shit to Lisa in these notes, and they had them. So they're like, well, you know, it just took all of his credibility away. The prosecutors still had a shit ton of witnesses, though, too. So even if he was a bad star witness, quote unquote, they still had enough evidence from everybody else talking against her to get her. Tabitha Buck was found guilty of second-degree murder, and she got life. Lawrence lost his plea deal because of his stupid letter, so he got third-degree murder, and he served 10 to 20 years.
Sorry, so the letter piece was that, like, he was saying they weren't in love, or he admitted to...
He admitted to not doing more than what he said, because his whole time he was trying to plea like, oh, I didn't...
I had no idea. I just wanted to go get McDonald's.
Yeah.
McDonald's plays way too much of a role in this.
Yeah. So Lisa, who was arrested at the time and obviously convicted for life without parole, she stirred up a bunch of shit. She claimed that 3 officers where she was living at the time in 1991, before all this started, had raped her. And so they framed her for this. And she stirred up a ton of shit. She appealed her case so many times. She even said that the cops moved Lori's body from the morgue to frame her. Like, she went in deep. She even wrote a book called Love, Murder, and Corruption in Lancaster County, My Story. And her ugly face is on it.
I saw that whenever I looked her up.
I bet you did. Ugh. Nothing came from it, and she is still serving life in prison, and she believes her own lies. Lawrence, in 2004, was paroled, and he still lives in the area. In 2019, Tabitha, she was 45. She got out. She went in at 17, and she got out 45.
Because when she was 17 years old, she hung out with the wrong broad, basically. I mean, she held down an innocent person and watched and was a part of a murder. Yeah. She deserves it.
Yeah.
But my goodness, if you could just stop and realize, like, she lost her life.
Literally, yeah.
Wow.
And then in 1994, Lori Show's parents got an anti-stalking bill passed in Pennsylvania, making it easier for victims to get help when they're being stalked. So at least it's kind of silver lining. And that is the sad story of the murder of Lori Show.
That's so sad.
I know.
So sad for Lori and Lori's mom, because what I feel like in stalking cases and what we've witnessed is, like, no one takes it seriously. Mm-hmm. Now, in most cases, they're stalking you and they're not necessarily ever saying they're going to kill you. But this girl was, like, so obviously physically assaulting her.
Publicly.
Physically assaulting her.
In public.
In public. Like, around people.
Not hiding it.
No.
And you know what they said was sad is that Lori wouldn't fight back because she was pregnant. She tried to defend herself, but she wouldn't fight back.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because she didn't want to hurt the baby. So there's that. That one was wild. It was a wild ride.
That's just, I don't know. It's so frustrating. And so many, and people were involved, and the mother, like, their parents tried to do all the right things.
The real MVP is Hazel.
Yeah.
Hazel Show. I don't know the dad's name, but
I feel so bad for her. So bad for her.
She was sweet baby angel. She was on the documentary too, talking about it all. And she tried to defend her daughter, and she just went to the school that day to hell. Anyway.
So sad. Mm-hmm. Bitches be crazy.
Bitches be crazy. And there is a lot of crazy. Because we wanted to do one with the true crime theme for the actual sad ending. Like, that's the story that we were trying to find, or I did.
Yeah.
But there's a lot where it could have ended like this, and it didn't.
Thank goodness.
Yes. There was a ton.
I never looked for any that didn't end in a murder.
Yeah. I found a bunch where it was, I'm like, oh my God. Just scary in itself. Like, it could have ended this way, and luckily it didn't. So,
jeez Louise. Well, there you have it.
There you have it,
ladies and gentlemen.
That was the end of the journey.
It was. We may not. We don't really know. We might have a break coming up. It's hard to tell. Lots of vacaciones going on. We're trying to squeeze things in, like me and those 2 tight jeans, but we'll try to figure it out, and hopefully we'll be bringing some tasty little treats every Thursday morning to tickle your fancy.
That's right.
Scratch that itch.
Scratch that itch, bitch.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, like, listen, rate, subscribe.
Yes, please.
Once more, we love you.
Love you.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?